Good morning, Kitchen Witches. This is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor-in-chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. And we're going to pick one card, and that is going to be everything we need to know for the day. So we're going to shuffle real well, see what we've got. All right. Ready? There we go. I don't usually get this card. We have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a minor arcana ruled by, what is the major arcana that's numbered 7? The Chariot. So this has Chariot energy underneath it. It's what supports this card. So you can start there, because as a novice to tarot, you're going to first learn your major arcanas, learn them inside and out. Because then when you start to learn your minor arcana, and I would do the court cards last, you're learning the minor arcana, you now have an idea of what major arcana holds the minor up. So you have some place to start. So the Chariot is all about our will and determination from the inside, right? Pictured, even though it's a charioteer inside a chariot, the chariot is an emotion. It's even made of stone. I mean, it doesn't, the wheels are not moving. The two animals that are pulling it are sphinxes, which don't move. They're gatekeepers. They're the ones that stay put so that they guard whatever they're guarding. So where is it going? It's not physically going somewhere. It's all about our mental, our heartfelt, everything within us, passions that start to bring something into the next phase. So it is going somewhere, but it's all internal. So now we bring it to the meaning of the Seven of Pentacles. And this is all also about will and determination. But this person has already put all of that effort into harvesting their abundance, right? So all of the pentacles are stacked as if they've been tilled from the land and are now being stacked up with, it looks like grape leaves, and you could see that the farmer is standing in dirt, so that means that it's not lush and abundant on the ground, it's instead now in front of him. So all the hard work has been done. And he's looking, I would say he's proud, but a little solemn about the crop that he has. Now, it's quite abundant, his crop, so he's proud of that. And he's proud that he had a very prosperous season, right? As a farmer, you don't always get that. So you put all your faith into what the elements are going to do, and you have no power over that. You can do what you can do, but really Mother Nature is going to be kind or not. So, but this seems like it's a fairly abundant harvest for this person. Now they're kind of in a waiting mode. So they're thinking, they're having a pause, they're being very mindful of the work that they've just done, but they're also in a state of being joyful at the fact, or maybe they're just taking a moment and saying, this pentacle is going to be for Aunt Sarah. This pentacle is going to be for my family and will feed us for maybe a month or two. This pentacle will be to sell so that we have more money when this pentacle runs out, right? So maybe they're looking at their abundance and starting to divvy it up and putting it into, the mind storehouse for how it's going to be used in future. So there's some a little bit of mountains in the background, so not huge gargantuans that are in the forefront. They're all in the background, meaning again, the hard work has been done. There's still some hurdles, like how to distribute all of this now needs to be thought about, which it seems they're doing. So yeah, and the sky doesn't really represent clouds or harsh sunlight or moonlight. It's just a gray background. And gray is usually associated with wisdom. So if you think of the Hermit card, it's black and grays in that card, some browns, but it's all about wisdom. So this person has done what they know to do to harvest a very abundant crop. To actually grow the crop in the first place is a wise thing, right? To make it grow. So they've taken all of their learned abilities to get where they are, and now they need to also be a little methodical about what the tangibility of this thing can be for them in future. Yeah. So that's great. And number 7 is in numerology. It's also a restful number, because you're shot out of the box with a 1, right? That's ourselves. Then you meet 2, the other person. Then it's 3, bringing it into collective, right? And communicative, collective. And then 4, you're rooting yourself with structure. 5 is all the conflicts, all the hurdles, right? 6 is when you nurture yourself from the battles. And now you're at 7, where you could take a deep breath, look around you, course correct if necessary, and move on to the 8, which is a very strong, prosperous, the CEO, right? The number that usually means it's success, right? So, all that said, today, with our card of the day, think about the hard work that you've been doing. Maybe you've been doing too much. Maybe you need a mindful rest. Just, it doesn't need to be a week-long or 2-week-long vacation and on a cruise or whatever. It could be 10, 20 minutes sitting in a chair. Can you do that? Can you do that without picking up your phone or thinking, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. Sit for 20 minutes. And just reflect. Reflect on the day, reflect on what's ahead a little bit, but mainly just be in a restful state. Maybe close your eyes for 20 minutes. Yeah, take a nap. You say you can't do it, but we can't do it because we don't work it into our day. So maybe tomorrow, maybe you can't do it today, but maybe tomorrow, you work it into the day. You say, okay, from 3 to 3:40, or 3 to 3:20, I am going to take a rest. And you do. Yeah. Because, we can't just work all the time. We're not robots. We're human. And we need that restful time. We need that turn the light switch off or dim the lights a little bit so that you can give more when you get back to work, right? So now we're going to bring our friend into the kitchen, and they're going to make some amazing meals. And what I think this card would want is low and slow cooking. So you have to wait for it, because you plan it, you execute it, and now you have to wait. And what do you do in that waiting time? You rest. So for breakfast, we're going to do fresh ricotta. Fresh ricotta cheese made from scratch. It does take time, but it's super easy. So you get a pot on the stove, you get a gallon of milk, you pour the milk in, and you're going to use something called ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid, not acetic acid, which is vitamin C. You're using ascorbic acid. And if you don't have that, can't find it, I know you can buy it on Amazon, but say you don't want to because maybe you just, what am I going to use it again? You don't have to. You can use lemon juice, right? But what you're doing is you're bringing the milk up to a certain temperature, and then you're going to add either the acid we talked about or lemon juice. And then you're going to stir, and you're going to keep stirring very gently for upwards of 40 minutes until it comes to the temperature it needs to. And then it's going to start to separate the curds from the whey. And you know you've gotten there because the whey is going to be yellow where it was all white before. And it's going to start to turn yellow, and then it's going to start to clabber, right? Where the curds are separating, so it's looking like scrambled, right? And then as you stir, it's going to get more, the curds are going to start to form better so that you now have a clear separation. At that point, you're going to strain it into either little ricotta baskets, which you can purchase at Amazon online or wherever you get your cheese making supplies. Or you just line a tin or something that can take heat with cheesecloth. And then you strain out the curds into the cheesecloth. And then you just fold it over on itself. You don't have to hang it or anything like that. Just, keep it off to the side and let it get room temperature. And it's going to look like ricotta cheese, but the more you press the liquid out, the firmer it gets. There's a product called a ricotta, what's it called? Salata, ricotta salata, and that just means that most of the liquid has been taken out, and it's harder and firmer. So the more liquid you take out of your cheese, the more firm it's going to be. But we don't want the soupy stuff you get at the grocery store. We want somewhere in between, right? We don't want to be able to slice it, and we don't want it soupy. We want somewhere in between. Because now you're going to take toast. You're going to toast it, of course, and any kind of toast. If you've made sourdough in the past and you have some in your freezer, or you just made a loaf, amazing, do it. Slice it, toast it. Spread some of that fresh ricotta on top, and then jam of choice, and that is breakfast. Yeah. Now, the waiting period of stirring your ricotta, waiting for it to separate. In that time, stir clockwise and just say, whom this ricotta serves, may they be well nourished, and peace of mind, peace of heart, peace of soul, right? That's kitchen witchery worked in. Right, so that's breakfast. Moving on to lunch, I'm thinking lamb. And we're going to take the lamb loin chops. We're going to reverse sear them. You can do this with a steak. It's most common to do with steak. But if you've never worked with lamb before, it's easy to overcook, and it shouldn't be overcooked. It should be beautifully pink in the center. So use the reverse sear to your advantage. You're going to preheat your oven to 250, 275. Take your steaks that they've been marinated overnight. So that's, again, a waiting period, right? When you're resting, hopefully, in bed, and they're marinating. Take them out the next day, put them on a sheet pan into the oven at a very low temperature. Lamb doesn't take too long, so maybe like 20 minutes, until the internal temperature is like 110, 115. Then you get your pan, get it nice and hot, add your avocado avocado oil is great if you have it, because it's a high heat oil, and it's a great fat for you. So use that, and then sear off your steaks, and while it's in the oven, you're making a couscous salad, which takes 5 minutes. Chop up some cucumber, some bell pepper if you wish. The couscous literally takes 5 minutes. You can use bone broth, a chicken bone broth, which you pour over it, hot from the pot. And then you cover the couscous bowl with plastic wrap, or you boil your liquid, add the couscous in, and then immediately turn it off heat and cover it. Because the couscous doesn't need to boil like pasta, even though it is pasta, technically. It doesn't need to boil like pasta because then it'll overcook. You just want your liquid to be super hot and the couscous to get poured in, and then it will absorb all of that liquid. From there, you take all your chopped vegetables that you want to throw into the salad, and once the couscous has sat for 5 minutes, it's ready to eat. Fluff it with a fork, add the veg. If you want to, you can make a very simple salad dressing, lemon, olive oil, if you want to, a little garlic, and then toss that whole thing together and have that with your reversed seared lamb chop. Lunch. For dinner, what about a braise? Yeah, like, well, you can do anything. You can do a lamb shank. Well, we did lamb for lunch, so beef shank. You can do a low and slow chuck roast, right, which is pot roast. Anything that takes hours and hours. You could even do ribs if you want to, because they take hours too. Take a rack of ribs and you put them in the oven with a beautiful rub, cover them. 2 hours for baby backs and 3 hours for spare ribs. And then once they come out of the oven, you douse them with a little barbecue sauce and then you broil them. So it's a low, slow cook, but totally worth your time and effort. Yeah, and with that, you could serve salads again. So you can make like a coleslaw or potato salad. You can even do, greens of choice or grill them. Yeah, but, finish them on the grill, but you're braising everything in the oven because you pop it in there and you've got 2-3 hours of your time that you can sit and ponder the work you've done for the day. And be proud of it and grateful for the time. 7 of Pentacles, a beautiful card. If you get it in a spread, think of how it wants to speak to you. Is it asking you to take a break? Is it asking you to pull back from doing too much? I know it's asking you to nourish yourself and nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. See you tomorrow.